Take me out to left field. Give me a shot of Fireball. Give me some high fives from Mark Pena and a hug from Jeff Cross as we stand on top of the tables. Hearing the horns, that's a blast. For it's 1, 2, 3 shots from the cannon with the ladies of left field.
Hey, y'all, it's game time with the ladies of left field. Jordan here with Casey and Katie.
Hey, y'all.
Hey. And it is a Texas Idol week, so we don't have to go over any good or stressful Texas football stuff. We'll obviously hit on the atrocious tie from the Cowboys and the Packers. But I'll start it off with some happy Dallas news that the NHL starts on Tuesday. There's 3 games to kick it off with Chicago versus Florida, Pittsburgh versus New York, and Colorado versus LA. Then the Stars will kick off their season against the Winnipeg Jets on Thursday. That'll be 8 Eastern time on ESPN. Kind of a bummer to start the season, though. Jamie Benn is out to kick off the season because he just had surgery for a collapsed lung. So you will not see Jamie Benn out there. Yeah, I thought it was crazy. But NHL starting. Go Stars.
Go Stars. So fun.
Go Stars.
Well, I'll bring it back to kind of the major thing happening now is our Major League Baseball. Postseason has started. We've been gearing up for this. Fun times. The wild card series have started. There are 4 wild card games. And actually, the Cubs have already beat the Padres. So go Cubbies. Love that. Also, the other wild card games are the Guardians versus the Tigers, the Yankees and the Red Sox, which is like an old school rivalry. If you ever love baseball, you're loving that. It's happening now as we record. So yeah, both Sox and Yankees, and then the Dodgers and the Padres. So those are the wild card games. And then the other games that will happen, but they have earned buys for right now. So they're not playing the Blue Jays, the Mariners, the Brewers, and the Phillies. And they will start their postseasons on Saturday. So just if you are a betting person or you want to look super knowledgeable, the Philadelphia Phillies are favored to win the World Series. They are like plus 425 or their odds, followed closely by the Seattle Mariners and the Dodgers. So go MLB. Interesting to see what happens. Also in football news, and we'll get into this more, Arkansas lost badly to Notre Dame. They just looked really bad. It was an embarrassing loss. So they fired their coach, Petrino. We were joking about this. We're like, how many times has Petrino been the coach at Arkansas? That and Louisville, I don't know. So he's the interim coach right now. He's already chopping people off and has apparently fired 3 defensive assistants. So we'll see what happens with that whole program and that. Also, before Casey gets into the Cowboys, I have to share that I had my first fantasy football win. It was against Casey.
Against me.
Oh, Lord. I was like, my first trash team finally won.
Well, they didn't seem like trash. Good points galore.
Yeah, well, not only this one time, 1 week, but it was kind of, I was watching that Cowboys game because Casey has Pickens on her team, and did get her lots of points. And as the Cowboys kept scoring, you're like, okay, I want the Cowboys to win, but not Casey to score all those points with Pickens. But
yeah. If I'd have just switched out and had Matt Stafford,
I know, I thought that
he was on the bench with. So I was sitting there thinking, I need to start paying better attention as to who the opponent is and all that stuff. I just kind of go into these. I do it sometimes, but and I also need to realize that when they have a great week, 1 week, they're probably not going to have the exorbitant. Some guys do, but
also I had Drake London who went off, who the week prior was horrible, and the Falcons didn't even score any points, and then he was amazing for me. Cook the third, my running back from Buffalo, has been good, and he continues to be good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so but yes, thank you, Case, for my first win.
Yeah. Yeah. If the Bengals can ever figure out how to protect their poor quarterback and give him a shot, because those poor guys looked lost in the lost last night. We didn't even watch much, but when we turned it on, it was like, oh, I was like, and
So Mark said, I was like, well, she has Chase. And he was like, but Chase doesn't have Joe Burrow anymore.
And that's exactly how I feel. I'm kind of like, I don't want to drop him. But then I heard something about Joe Burrow being out for 3 months. And I'm like, well, I might as well. I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, that's almost the entire time.
I know.
So-
I have a couple of players like that. I'm like, I think it's time to let him go. See what else I can find out there. So,
Jeez. But on the football and on the since we're talking pro football, my hot girl headline is the Dallas Cowboys tie.
Oh.
Everybody else is going, ugh. I, on the other hand, am like, at least we did not lose to the Green Bay Packers and to Micah Parsons. It was a tie, but whatever. I mean, we fought after the way the game started.
yes.
I mean, I thought, oh my gosh, here we go again. Chicago Bear game repeat. This is going to be brutally awful, blah, blah, blah. And then we get that blocking the extra point, and it just kind of turned things around. And then that turnover at the end of the first half, to be able to go into halftime
ahead.
If we had only taken advantage of getting the ball first in the second half, that was the only time. I think that was basically the only time there wasn't a score. They held us, and after that, every single possession was a score. We just went back and forth, back and forth, back and forth. And I mean, I know that it was whatever, but I could not believe that Jordan Love scrambled around and almost blew it with the time management.
Yeah.
I mean, and then it was also, I couldn't believe that we finally stopped a pass.
Thank God. Our defense was not good, but we'll take it.
Yeah, right. So, I'm taking the positives here that the Packers have a good defense, and the Cowboys hung in there. Dak did good, scrambling around. That pass he had to Tolbert, in the when he heaved it, and I thought, "What are you doing?" And I was like, "What is going on?" And then all of a sudden, here appears Tolbert in the screen, running backwards to catch it.
Insane.
Sideline, toes on the sideline. So, there was lots of positives with some of that. We've just got to figure out how to protect the pass, or how to play defense against the pass.
Defense. God,
I mean,
our defense is bad.
But the front line was starting to improve. I mean, I really felt like in that game itself, they were like getting confidence in themselves, except for the guy with all the hair that is, running in and making stupid personal foul hits. I'm like, God, what are you doing, idiot? Sorry, that's how I watch the games.
It's completely fair though. That's entirely fair. It's same.
I mean, that was going to be a third down or maybe a fourth down, and then he comes just barreling in and gives him a first down with 15 yards. It's like, come on.
Yeah.
But a lot of those other guys, I was kind of like, okay, y'all are showing some promise here. Y'all are, and it's like, so, I'm not expecting the world from the Cowboys. I just want some competition. I want competitive games, fun games to watch. Stuff like that. So, and to show a little heart, I loved watching CD on the sideline, excited for all of them, and it's like, okay, now that's be a team,
right? Who cares? And then Dak passed Romo's record, and I love Dak afterwards. He goes, "Look, I don't care about those records. I care about getting a win."
Right.
But
I think he was annoyed, but I'm kind of like, well, y'all had it down there, and of course, were it not for Micah Parsons,
I know,
grabbing him by the foot,
we
would have had a touchdown, So who knows?
Okay, only thing, that I hate moral victory, whatever. But I was like, at least Micah didn't win in his return to Dallas. Is maybe the only thing. I'm like, I'll take that, I guess.
Yeah. Well, they did not win. I don't feel like, I don't like Micah didn't have any massive, he didn't hurt anybody. Thank God. Dak played amazing. Yeah.
Because it's even in something, I guess after the first or second game, the Green Bay, I don't know if it was their team or their fans, apparently they were all talking about they were going to go undefeated. I'm like, well, no, you're not.
No.
You've already lost, and now you're tied. So let's scratch that off the list there, please. So I guess I don't know who, I'm not sure who's left. I know there were 6 undefeated teams going into Sunday. I can't remember who all. I know the Chargers lost, so they were one of them. I don't know what happened with the 49ers.
I feel like a lot of them lost actually, because I remember like hearing about that.
I would imagine Buffalo was undefeated, or were they?
Yeah, they still are.
They still are. Okay, so, and then the Ravens have just gotten beat up. Apparently,
Yeah.
I mean, like that they lost, or players are dropping like flies on their team. So
Yeah. So only right now, there's only 2 undefeated teams: the Bills and the Eagles. That's it.
oh, the Eagles, yeah,
They defeated Tampa Bay,
yeah,
who was previously undefeated. So Tampa Bay got a loss.
right,
Loss.
yeah.
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 So that's it.
yeah. That was a game of me not caring. I mean, like they could have ended in a tie. That would have been good.
Yeah. That's how we feel about Baker Mayfield.
That's exactly right.
Yeah.
I have no hard feelings I have nothing really against Tampa Bay, but I do not like their quarterbacks.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is my hot girl headline.
Okay. Should we go around the horns?
Sure.
All righty. Well, I'll start us off with baseball.
Yeah.
I went to the Dell Diamond over the weekend. Texas played a, what do you call that? Like a scrimmage?
Yeah, it was a fall exhibition game. That's what they called it.
Yeah. Fall ball against Texas Tech. They played 12 innings, which was just, that's strange, but I guess it made people's trip out to Round Rock worth the drive.
And there was a good crowd, right?
I was also going to say, Case, it was a crazy good crowd. I mean, I would think the stands were packed. Everybody was in the shade. I mean, there was at least, I would say, 6,000 to 8,000 people there. It was packed. The parking lot was packed. We got out there at 11. We did a huge tailgate. It actually ended up being like all the players' parents came over there to our tailgate. We were like in the grassy area under the trees. And we got to meet a bunch of the new parents, and of course, a bunch of our old favorites. But yeah, the catcher from Notre Dame, his dad and stepmom came out. They're gonna be fun. Case they're gonna be hanging in left field. I have a feeling. They walked up and Mark was like, "What do y'all want to drink?" And she looked at me. She goes, "We drink everything." Okay, you're gonna hang out with us. Great, welcome. And and then, so a bunch of the new parents came out. They were great, had fun. And then a bunch of our, like I said, Kevin the Bings were there, who we love from West. And Adrian Rodriguez's parents were there. I was talking to his dad for a little bit. And I was like, so he's playing shortstop, huh? And he was like, that's what we hear. And he was super excited. Yeah. He said Adrian slimmed down a lot. He said he worked hard all summer. He said he probably dropped over 20 pounds. To get like really trim and fast and ready to play shortstop. So he played that. And it looked really good, man. Our pitchers looked amazing. All of these new little freshman pitchers are just huge. And I mean, we like looked dominant. It was really good. So that was fun. All of our hitting looked really good. And it was fun at the Dell Diamond, good crowd, good times. I think we stayed till probably like the 10th inning or so, and then we headed home to watch football. And
you got the new scuttlebutt of one of our favorite left fielders.
Who?
Dating somebody now.
Oh, right. Yes, we do. I was thinking a left field player. I was like, who the hell are you talking about?
No.
Oh yeah, made it very clear. Are we allowed to say this on the media?
Yeah. I think so. He's saying it everywhere else.
Yeah. So yes, I will say, came to the tailgate, show up as our friend, good old friend Denny, who is a Longhorn fan, except for when they're playing LSU. He came out in his Longhorn shirt with an LSU towel, tucked into his shorts. And in his car, riding in the same car, passenger seat, is our great friend Tara.
Yep.
So
they are now
Tara did make it very clear. They announced it publicly that they are dating, and they just want everybody to know. So there you go. So
yeah,
the presses.
I guess maybe on Friday night, Barn got a text from Denny. Denny had texted Barn and Mike Lear and said, "I'll tell y'all in person, but Tara and I are dating," and that was that.
Wait, I love that. So he was like, "I'll tell you in person, but here's what I'm going to tell you."
Yeah.
Here we go. And Barn made the comment. He goes, "I mean, I'm sure Tara made him he drove all the way to Round Rock because she was the one that wanted to go to that baseball game. And I said, yeah, and I'm sure he also had the prerequisite that they were leaving before the LSU game started at 2:30.
Yeah, they did. They were there until about 2:00, and then they left.
Yeah.
And first they went out to the bullpen bar where I was with PJ because it was air conditioning and the lake was out there. And they had wine. So I was, and then they came out there like, is the LSU game on out here? It's like, yeah, they have a ton of TVs. Come check it out. And that they hung there for a minute, and I think Denny wanted, like a legit LSU bar. So then they took off. But yes, our boy Denny and our friend Tara, there you go. Another love in left field. Jordan, you're next. You're next with love in left field.
We'll figure it out one of these days.
All right, Jordan, you want to tell us about volleyball?
Actually, I'll let Casey take volleyball, but I was going to jump in on soccer because I know last episode I talked about how they were, they did not look good. And then they came out and upset number 13 Vanderbilt. So I was like, that was exciting. That was some positive momentum. There were quite a few upsets. I don't want to say quite. Okay, there were a couple upsets in SEC soccer last week. So, who knows? Like I said, maybe that one loss to Mississippi State was their one, and now they're going to reel off a whole bunch of wins. So, Amalia Villarreal was SEC Player of the Week, I believe. And she scored the 2 goals in that match. So, that was an exciting one to see Texas get a win, maybe turn it around in SEC soccer.
Okay, cool.
Awesome. Yeah. So we Longhorn volleyball improves to 10-0. So just cruising right along. Nebraska clearly is also cruising along because we continue to remain number 2. But we are 3-0 in our matches this past week, like against Vanderbilt and Missouri. And I watched both of those. But that match against Missouri was really tight back and forth, like each set. So, I mean, that was really fun to watch. I mean, it was very, very close, and yet we still won 3-0. But, I mean, our team is really, really stacked. Really good. And that being said, Stafford and Vanderwall both earned SEC Weekly honors. So I think basically we've had a player get some sort of SEC honor throughout the season. Stafford was the co-offensive player of the week, and Vanderwall was like co-SEC freshman of the week.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's 4 straight weeks of a Longhorn winning the freshman of the week because Kari Spears has won the previous 3 weeks. So really impressive. We played Georgia and Mississippi State this next upcoming week, and those are both on the road. So that'll be a little bit different because I feel like all of our SEC matches so far have been at Gregory, when obviously that's the confines of our friendly for us, bad for the opponent. But so hopefully they'll just continue that trend. But they're really good and they're fun. And as we say all the time, it's so fun to watch.
So fun to watch. Yeah.
In fact, I see when I'm watching on TV, I see Cindy, like she's one of those ones that sits behind I guess I can't really say behind the Texas server because I know they switch sides, but she's on one of the ends where you can, when whoever's serving, you can sometimes the camera angle catches her.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. She was talking about it on Saturday at the table.
So shall we jump into college football?
Yeah. Well, hold on real quick. So we're on the horns. 2 other things I was going to mention just about previous Longhorns. So our great player Kevin Durant, who we love, is back in Texas. He signed with the Houston Rockets. And I just love KD, and it's fun to have him back in Texas. He loves the Longhorns. He was saying he's excited to be in Houston around a bunch of UT alumni. So that'll be fun to watch. And then also our previous baseball player, David Hamilton, is playing for the Red Sox. So that just made me think we should be cheering for the Red Sox and not the Yankees. So we can cheer on a UT alumni in the big playoffs.
I wasn't going to do it.
Yeah, I know. A little sidebar too about the Rockets is that that's Royale Ivy's one of the assistant coaches on the Rockets. So yeah, so that's going to be fun. I mean, but that's going to be fun for them because they were teammates here, and they're close. I mean, they're good friends and everything. Yeah. So I think they're both. When Royale was here for Hall of Honor and being inducted, he made mention that he was excited about that. And, they were bringing that up, that we would have like a connection of two Longhorns.
Aw, that's fun. Good. Love that. All right. Well, other quick things, that are happening. I know women's tennis.
We were tied for third in the golf tournament in the Ben Hogan thing. I just don't know if the other guys, how they ended up. Oh, we ended up being in a tie for first.
Oh, yay.
Awesome.
Oh, heck yeah. Okay.
So the two teams that were ahead of us were +8, and it was us and another team. I don't remember what teams they all were, but they're +10. So they must have both finished, at +10.
Good.
We were done at +10. Very nice. And Barn just told me another little nugget for around the horns is that Bo Ogden, Chris Ogden's son, just committed to play for us in men's basketball. So that's kind of,
I didn't realize that's who that was. I saw the announcement, but that's fun.
yeah.
Aw,
So
I love that.
that'll be fun. Yeah. Yeah. So
Hopefully
I
it
like-
makes you the 3.
yeah, I like the parent-child connections at Texas.
Yeah.
Legacy things.
Legacy connections. Love that.
Yeah.
All right. Now, should we move to football?
Yeah.
Especially because Texas didn't play, but there was still a whole lot going on. It took everything in me not to chime in when you were talking about Denny going to leaving to watch LSU, because I was like, let's just talk about Ole Miss
Yep.
beating LSU. Hell yeah, dude!
Yeah.
Right.
That was
Well, I will say he did call that, Jordan. He said,
Did
he was
he?
like, I think we're going to lose. He was like, I think we're going to lose to Ole Miss. And we were like, no way. And he was like, I think we're going to lose, so.
I thought they were.
Yeah. I mean, and I like you. I don't know. You never know with Ole Miss. I felt pretty good about it, but I also hadn't really watched that much LSU, so I didn't know.
And
but
what
that
was
one,
what was the social story about Lane Kiffin's daughter is dating one of the LSU guys?
yes, the LSU, I think, tight end, and she
Yeah.
posted like, I don't know if it was already out there or if it was like a hard launch on Instagram that week, but
Yeah.
the photo of them together she put on Instagram.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I was like, okay.
And there
Okay,
was
yeah, yeah.
afterwards, it was like, well, like funny little memes about like Lane Kiffin being like, well, you can have her, but I'm gonna still like y'all are still gonna call me daddy or something like about
Oh no, funny.
like,
Yeah.
funny stuff.
Well, there was something about I guess what's his name? Kelly from LSU. I guess it was, I don't know if it was him or somebody else, but they must have had some kind of comment about whatever they call the trophy between this rivalry game.
Oh,
It was going to be, was going to be staying in Baton Rouge, or was, they'd be bringing it back home to Baton Rouge where it belonged or something like that. So Lane Kiffin had a little, dig tweet about that pretty quick after the game. So kind of cracks me up that they get into some of this bigger, but of course, Lane Kiffin's known to do that. So
yeah.
That is Lane Kiffin MO though.
right, that really they're not shocking. And I actually, I think I kind of, I don't know if I expected it, but I think I ended up as the game was going along. That's what's hard too, is in the SEC, all of a sudden you find yourself pulling for a team that you would have never thought you would. And I was like,
For sure.
but I was like, I was basically pulling for Alabama, and I was like, and for them.
Well, Alabama looked good, y'all. Alabama looked good.
And after week 1, when I think that their entire fan base was ready to
Fire their coach. I think there was real talk about,
that he did.
there was talk about firing that coach base, which is wild, and here they are like beating Georgia.
We're about to jump into this gauntlet that everybody else has already been in for a few weeks.
Yeah, talk to us again next week after we play Florida and go to the Swamp. And on Saturday evening, we can connect and see how we're feeling. I think we might go to your house case to watch this game. Is that what I hear?
Yep. We are. But another one of the awesome, great games, except for I was scared to death for the receiver, but that Virginia upset over Florida State. That was crazy wild. And the way that those students ran onto the field, that kind of freaked me out. Well, it freaked me out a lot.
Well, because that wide receiver just disappeared.
Exactly.
just
I was like, did he get
We
trampled?
didn't see him again.
Yeah. And someone the next day told me they were like, no, there was somebody right there immediately that was able to like shield him. And I was like, well, I didn't see it because I rewounded it like a couple of times. Because at first I was like, also like, why in the world did they let them get on the field like that already?
Well, there was like no boundary, y'all. Y'all, I mean, like they were all coming.
Yes.
Every Virginia fan was coming, and there is zero boundary around.
They were literally right behind the goal line.
Yeah.
That's what blew my mind, is you could just see the students lined up there. They were ready to. No one was even trying to stop them. It didn't look like.
I mean, the game was still in play, and I'm just like, that was. They're lucky somebody didn't get seriously hurt. I'm sounding like the grown-up old lady now, but that did freak me out.
But it's accurate. Like literally, it was just like you saw that guy go for the catch, and then it was like gone. Never saw him again.
Yeah, I mean, that was just.
Okay, so yeah, we got Oregon moved up 4 spots. They're the number 2 seed. Ole Miss, like we said, is up to the number 4 seed. Bama jumped a ton to number 10 after beating Georgia. And then Texas, we're at the 9 spot, which I think is totally legit until we beat somebody good. And then, yeah, I mean, I think, what is your favorite upset from last week? Is it is it Virginia beating FSU? Is it Arizona State beating TCU? That was also a crazy game.
Oh, that was. Yes, that was.
TCU is legit good, and so that was a crazy upset by Arizona State. Ole Miss beating LSU. Penn State beating...
No, they lost to Oregon.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, sorry. Yeah, Oregon. So Penn State losing at the whiteout. That's what it was. That whiteout at Penn State. Did you see that? That was so crazy. And
the whiteout. Can I chime in real quick?
Yes.
Did anyone watch Game Day and how everyone they looked like the Backstreet Boys?
I saw some parts of that. Yeah.
It was not a good look, y'all. That was not great. And that's all I had to say. Not the best look.
And then they lose. And then like we talked about, and then Alabama beating Georgia. So what was your favorite upset of the weekend?
Probably from a watching standpoint of watching the entire game, I would have to go with that Virginia-Florida State.
That's fair. I mean, I'm biased.
I mean,
mine was the Ole Miss game, which I already said. Like, I'm biased because I'm an Ole Miss fan. So,
and I mean, and I did like that one too from our like SEC perspective. But I mean, I guess it's not like it's gonna be. That's what's gonna happen in the SEC. Everybody winning, beating each other up, and that's what when we got off last week, when we got done with our recording, and I kept watching that SEC show with the schedule. And that was what they were talking about, was like that the SEC made a statement to the, college football world about, this is how it's supposed to be. And this is how the playoff system is supposed to work. And we expect, that teams make it to the playoffs with 2 and 3 losses, because they got beat by other top caliber teams and not just your, easy peasy schedule, and that you were 10-1, but you only played one other hard team, kind of thing. So it was an interesting take, and because it's like, oh,
yeah, that's kind of how I am. You know me, I'd rather just have like any of the other good teams in front of us lose. So it's like, love that FSU lost, love that LSU lost, love that Georgia lost. We need to have all these teams lose so that we, also look, it's okay when we lose, because I bet we will. Nobody's going to go undefeated anymore, especially not in the SEC. So it's like, yeah. So, it's all good.
I was trying to see what the top games are this weekend. Vanderbilt and Alabama. That's going to be a good one. Oh, Mississippi State, Texas Tech, A&M. That's easy. This doesn't seem like this is everybody. Maybe a lot of teams have a bye this weekend because we had a bye last weekend.
Yeah.
Could be part of it. So,
I mean, I think, I hope that we're better than Florida. And I hope that we look really good. But I still think that's a big game. It's a big rivalry.
Oh, yeah. It's definitely a big game. And there's supposed to be, maybe like, I don't know if it's like super rainy, but definitely more than just the average, mid-afternoon Florida shower. I think that's what I heard in one of my meetings at work yesterday, because the people that are going, like, from a work perspective, foundation perspective, they were talking about, take a poncho or something.
Yeah.
So, but, I'm not too concerned about like the humidity factor or any of that kind of stuff, because I mean, our players should be fully prepared for that kind of stuff. That's, I mean, geez, the other, 2 games we've played here have been, or the 3 haven't been overly, but they've practiced in sweltering heat.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah, I mean, it looks like you said already that Vanderbilt, Alabama is Vanderbilt's ranked 16. Alabama's like close to 10 now. And then the other big game that's not in the SEC, but should be super competitive, is the Saturday night game. And it's Miami, the U, against FSU. So 2 powerhouse, old school Florida teams. I mean, Florida State just had this loss. Miami is looking good. But
they are.
FSU is going to want to come back and like show them who they are. So that'll be a really fun game to watch. Nothing else looks super competitive, in all honesty. But so it'll be fun to watch. And then Georgia and Kentucky play each other, which shouldn't be a big deal, but you never know.
Right.
You never know.
Never know.
Okay.
And I guess OU quarterback is still out. I was hearing some stuff about talking about him coming back early, but then I don't know if that was really, if that's just people trying to push it.
I think so. I mean, the fact that he went out and had wrist surgery.
Right. I don't see how you can have a surgery on your hand. Yeah. And be back in 2 weeks.
I think that's just hopeful thinking by the Sooners, and maybe trying to like give us some false news for the
that we have to prepare for. Prepare for multiple people, which is fine. We should be doing that anyway.
We need to be prepared for OU, no doubt. That's also fun. If you're in Austin this weekend, it's the first weekend the Austin City Limits music festival. So have fun. Go dance it up to Sabrina Carpenter. You can, if you want to hang with us, we're going to be watching football instead. And then next Thursday, midday, we're going to take ourselves to Dallas for our extended weekend for Texas OU, one of our favorite weekends of the year. And it gets even better when we beat the Sooners. So it'll be so fun. All right, our last thing, we haven't talked about it, Case. I think we have to talk about the Ryder Cup.
Oh, yes, the Ryder Cup. So, as I expected, the Europeans did win. But
I did tell Mark, he was mad. I was like, Casey called it. Casey knew the Euros were going to win.
Yeah, but I will say that the United States came back on Sunday and made it quite exciting, put in a lot of fight. But the first 2 days, the United States was just downright pitiful. I mean, it was horrible.
It was not competitive at all the first 2 days. It was not.
No, and it was just like really just completely embarrassing. But the singles matches, they came out and showed a lot of fight, a lot of heart, and it was fun to watch them get, at least do all that. And I think show some pride in playing. But there also was a lot of, as we also talked about, how the fans would be rowdy and wild, but fans got a little too carried away with their comments and actions towards Rory and his wife, especially towards his wife. You don't need to be doing that, like throwing things at you don't throw things at a golf tournament, period. I mean, you're the one that wins and you're just splashing yourself with whatever. Yeah. But with Rory, I think Justin Thomas, gained a lot of credibility by telling the American fans or whoever the people were that were yelling things when he was trying to putt or in his backswing. That's not what you do. So hopefully some of that stuff. I mean, I like all the chants and the singing of the songs and cheering and everything, but won't like for people to be ugly and ruin the game. I mean, of how the game is. So, I mean, the United States has a lot to look at in terms of how to naming, I don't know how they pick the captain. I don't know about that's all fine and good, but the captain has a lot more to do with the preparation of it. Yes. And we need to have, that was talked about that Keegan Bradley, some of his, he didn't look at some of the, what they were saying, analytics or stats or whatever. But they were even talking about on Friday with Scotty Scheffler and Russell Henley. They didn't understand why Henley went off first and alternate the holes. And they were like, the way these holes are lined up, Scotty's stronger on the, these kind of holes. He should be the one hitting first, then having the second shot on the other, And so that's like that people, it's not just like matching them up and saying rah, rah, go. I mean, you need a bunch of stuff. And it's clear that Luke Donald and his vice captains know all that. I mean,
yes. Agree.
He has matchups, and I mean,
you got to be strategic. There's a lot of strategy that goes into the Ryder Cup. You know what I mean? And just because, like, you have to be strategic with it. I agree. I heard that as well on Saturday, I guess, and they were talking about that. They were like, I don't know why they played Scotty this way. It makes no sense. It doesn't line up what he's good at. And I know they made a move to for Bryson DeChambeau to play on, and then he won. I mean, him and that. But still, it's like I think a lot of that was like not planned for. You know what I mean? It was like very reactive, and I think that whatever they need to do, I just think it needs to be something. I think the Europeans take it much more strategically and plan it out. You know what I mean? And as a team, and really talk through it and who's going to be where and why, and and then I think that we need to do more of that. We need to take it not as an afterthought, but plan it up. Really, really. And have a plan, be strategic, and use our talent in the most effective ways. So, The other thing I was gonna, I agree. I mean, we were talking the Ryder Cup is so fun because it does kind of push the limits of golf cheering, and it does get a little rowdy. But I think there is always a line that you don't cross, and you always if you've ever played golf, been at golf golf. I don't know, any golf course, period, if a freaking driving range, there are things you just never do.
Right.
And I think there's always still a level of respect and a level of, just overall courtesy for the game that you don't cross. And so it was a bummer to see some of that happen. And Rory is such a, beloved player. And I think to do it to him too, at anybody, is just not okay. He's been through a ton of ups and downs of his career, and Americans have loved watching Rory win. So I think that's also crappy for him to have that experience when he's, been such a great golfer. So anyway, but
they think Europe.
What?
Yes, we go to Europe, and that'll be in 2027. And so I guess probably in the next, I don't know how long it takes them, 6 months. I have no idea how, something behind the PGA, how they select, the captain. But, we'll find out who the next one is, and kind of go from there. So it's,
Yeah. Well, hopefully it's somebody who, I mean, I'm sure they all want it, but really, likes to get in there and try to scheme it up, and figure things out and make it the best possible, situation for the Americans to win.
Yeah. I part of me has to wonder, you should, I don't know, maybe not a captain that's actually playing on the PGA Tour. They might be playing on the PGA Champions Tour, but that way they're still separate from. They're watching things, but they're not actually out there. I mean, because Keegan Bradley was also trying to compete for himself towards the end of the season.
Right.
And so it's had somebody else been the captain, he could have easily been on the team again.
Right.
So
I agree. That needs to be a consideration. I don't think you should be a current competitor with the same people, in the same, like you were saying, in the same tournaments.
It's
and I think maybe you should have a little bit more time on your hands.
Right.
Plan out this situation versus planning out your own wins in your own career. Yeah. So there we go.
So
if you want Casey to be the captain, let her know. We're
no. I do watch and I do know quite a bit, but I don't know that much.
Well, I bet you would invest the time.
I might.
I would definitely tune in.
Well, yeah, they would need to like have some kind of. I'd have to have some kind of calming mechanism because I don't know that I can handle that.
Right. We think the decorum might really go out the window.
Yeah. Walk around with those headphones like a baby, like I can't hear that sound things.
Like a Stanley full of Miller Lite, and you never know what's going to happen. Yeah.
Remember that. Yes. Oh, and one last little tidbit: the baseball team is playing another exhibition game this Friday. I believe it's against Lamar. It's at Dishbox. It's free of charge. If you are listening to us Friday morning, and it's free of charge, and come one, come all, and the kids can run the bases after the game.
Yeah.
So and parking is free in the East Campus garage. I'll give you all the little tidbits.
Okay, I love it. That's perfect. Yeah, it's a great time to go out and see the Longhorns. They're looking good, man. Especially for this early team. It was fun. So yeah, go to the Dish this Friday. Check it out. It's a good time to go. All right. Well, then maybe we will actually see you.
I'd see y'all in left field.